Welcome to Success with Mark Live on Wednesday. And I am super excited to be here with you every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We meet right here. And whether you're on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel or you're watching this somewhere else, we do this every single Wednesday. So if you want to make sure that you get notified, head on over to markharbert.com. Make sure you grab my PDF over there, my free PDF that goes into social media automation. Head on over there, grab it, and I'll be sending you notifications every Wednesday reminding you that we are doing this. And this is your opportunity to come on, talk with me. We're going to talk specifically tonight about why you should be using Facebook ads in your business. I'm going to give you 6 reasons. We're going to talk about each of those reasons. And I'm going to dive into a couple other things too that I think you're going to, really help you to understand Facebook and, really help you to really tap into the power of Facebook ads. So super excited to have you here. If you are watching, do me a favor, just comment wherever you are. If you're watching this on Facebook, comment, let me know who you are, where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, do me a favor and put hashtag replay. And of course, I always appreciate it when you share the love. So hit that share button and share it with your people and get some value. So super excited to be here. And again, we're going to talk about 6 reasons that you should be using Facebook ads in your business. And at the end, we're going to do some questions. So if you have questions, make sure that you add them. We will handle them. And you can really ask me. You can ask me about Facebook ads if you want, or you can ask me about any other marketing question or topic that you want to talk about. All right. So let's dive into it. Let's get to it. So 6 reasons that you should be using Facebook ads in your business. And I recently did a blog post about this just this past Monday, and I'm going to expound upon that blog post. Okay. And so if you haven't seen it, head over to markharbert.com and you can check out that blog post. But let's get into the first one. The first one, the first reason that you should be using Facebook ads is really they are very inexpensive to start using. And it's very popular if you're out there and you see like ads where people are talking about Facebook ad costs are on the rise. And the truth of the matter is I just don't buy into that. There's a lot of hype out there that Facebook ad costs are increasing, blah, 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 all these things. And the way I look at it is that if people are not doing it right, then yes, ad costs are going to rise. I've been generating leads. I generate leads now at a much lower cost than I did even 5 years ago. And I think Facebook ads in a lot of ways is getting easier. It's getting easier for the average person to get started. But the truth of the matter is that with certain types of ads, you can get started for as little as $1 a day. I have some clients that are doing $5 and $10 a day, very inexpensively, that are getting anywhere from 20 to 30 leads a day in their particular niche. So Facebook ads are not expensive. They're really not, and it really just depends on how you view it. And niches will make a difference. It depends on which niche. If you're in a very competitive niche, that could drive costs up. But the truth of the matter is, I think there's a huge opportunity with Facebook ads. Especially recently, there were some changes that happened with Facebook, and a lot of people kind of freaked out about it and then decided to go elsewhere, which is, for me, that's totally fine. But I think Facebook ads are still incredibly profitable today than they've ever been. And so for me, getting in there, getting started, running ads, and doing it very inexpensively is the way to go. Now, before you obviously start to go big on Facebook ads, you really want to start small. And again, start for $1 a day. If you can afford $5 a day, go for $5 a day. But to really put this in perspective for you, okay, $1 a day to just get the feel for Facebook ads, put an ad out there, let it run for $1 a day, and just get familiar with how to run Facebook ads. And then next month, after you've gotten familiar with it, after you get a feel for it, you can bump it up to $2 or even $5 a day. And really, when you look at it, $5 a day, honestly, is really not that much. Okay, $5 a day times 30. What are we talking there? We're talking 120, so $150 a month to run an ad for $5 a day. Okay, $150 a month is really not a lot. Okay, especially if you're running a business. Now, if you could run an ad for $5 a day, spend $150 a month, I guarantee you, if you do that for a couple months, you will learn how Facebook ads work. Okay, and then you can say, let's say running it for 3 months. Okay, that's $450 that you spend over the course of 3 months, and you're learning in the process. That is the best type of university that you could ever go to. Okay, you're getting your hands dirty, you're getting in there, you're figuring it out, and you're not losing a ton of money. So to put this into perspective, okay, Facebook ads really are not that expensive, okay, especially in the beginning. Now, a lot of people are worried about, well, I don't know how I'm going to make my money back. Well, I can tell you that when I first started Facebook ads, I didn't make a lot of money because I was in a learning process. And so this is why I'm a huge advocate for starting small so that you can get the feel for it, and then you can start to bump it up as you start to make changes and get better results. So if you put it in perspective, if you are willing to spend, $450 over the course of 3 months, I believe you can get a ton of experience just within that very, very short period of time. And that's how you get good. You have to practice, and you certainly don't have to, spend a ton of money to do it. So Facebook ads is very inexpensive to start. I'm a huge fan of it. I use it all the time. And it's one of the first things that I teach my clients how to do. And so I am absolutely 100% sold on them. So inexpensive to start, highly recommend it. All right. So let's go into number 2. The other huge benefit to using Facebook ads is now once you go in and you figure out how to use the Facebook ad manager, and you're spending a little bit of money and you're getting familiar with how it all works. One of the things you can do with Facebook ads that's really great is you can quickly scale with Facebook ads. And this is the great thing is about scaling. So you find a campaign that works, you're getting a good response. And then what you can do is you can begin to start scaling that campaign and going much bigger. So here's the thing. Let's say you spend that $5 a day over the course of 3 months. You get really familiar with Facebook ads. You start to understand it better. You're getting into the groove of it, and you decide, you know what, this seems to be working really well. So you go in, you set up a new campaign, and you decide to go to $20 a day and see how that works for you. So what's cool about it is that you can make those incremental changes and begin to scale Facebook ads. And I have had days where I've spent upwards of $2,000 a day in ads. And there's a time when back in the day when I would have probably freaked out about the thought of spending $2,000 a day on ads. But when you have an ad that's working extremely well, you really get to a point where you don't really care about how much money you're spending, because the truth is you're making it back. And that's the beauty of it. So, but in order for you to really figure that out, you have to dip your toe in the water and start to feel it out. So the beauty of it is they're inexpensive to start and they're quick to scale. And that's what I love about Facebook ads. Those are some of the reasons that you should do it. So if you're creating videos out there and you're doing live videos and you're putting videos out on Facebook and you're trying to get views to those videos, well, guess what? There is a ad objective called video views, which will actually help you get your video out there and get people to view your video. And this is the great thing about it. If you want people to view your videos, you can go out there and you can run an ad to your video and get more exposure. And then we'll talk more about that in just a moment of one of the cool things that you can do once people have watched your videos. And this is another great reason that I love it. All right. So let's dive into number 3. Now, this is a very important one, and I'm going to expound on this for a second. Okay. And I'm going to give you, I was contacted, just a couple days ago by someone on my email list who brought up something that honestly I think needs to be addressed, and not a lot of people are addressing it. And I'm going to address it because, not because I want to get into politics. That's not my point. But what I do want to talk about is, this is pertaining to number 3, and it's Facebook is where the people are. Okay. And so I'm going to talk about this. And a lot of people are very uncomfortable with Facebook. Okay. And let's be honest here. Whether you agree or not, Facebook shuts people down. And there are a lot of people that don't like Facebook because they tend to censor people. At least that's what people believe. I tend to believe that. I've seen it. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm not here to argue about that. But the point is, a lot of people have a problem with Facebook because of that. Okay, and here's my take on that situation. And I'd love your feedback here. Okay, comment and let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. I'm not particularly a fan of Facebook doing what they're doing. Okay, they tend to squash debate on certain topics that they, seem like they want to control the information. Okay, whether you agree or not, the point is that what happens is a lot of people don't want to use Facebook who are online marketers because of that reason. Well, I don't want to use Facebook because Zuckerberg is corrupt and blah, 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 and all these other things. And I get that. Believe me, I do. And I agree with that on some level. But here's the way I look at it, okay? If I do not like Zuckerberg, okay, which I can't particularly say that I do, and I don't necessarily like how they run their platform, but it's not my platform, okay? But here's the reality. Facebook is where the people are, okay? There's 2.8 billion people on Facebook. So I can say I don't like spending my money at Facebook, which I don't necessarily enjoy spending my money at Facebook, but you got to go where the people are. Now, if I'm going to, say that I don't want to spend money on ads because I don't want to give money to Mark Zuckerberg, well, then you got to think about this as well. Where other places do you spend your money that they do things that you don't like? I'm not particularly a fan of the gas companies, okay? Okay? I'm talking about gasoline companies, oil, all that stuff. There's a lot of corruption there, okay? But I still need gas for my car. I'm not going to stop going to buy, gas. So I'm still going to do that. I'm not exactly a fan of the pharmaceutical companies. I believe there's a lot of manipulation there. Okay. But I do take some medications that have really improved my life due to some health issues that I've had in the past. Okay. So I could put my foot down and say, I'm not going to spend money with any of these. But the reason that I use Facebook is because it's where the people are. And you got to go where the people are. Okay. And I understand some of your beliefs and, some of the things, but the reality of it is you have to go where the people are. Now, for me, I am not a fan of the mall. Okay. I do not like the mall. I'm not particularly a fan of going to the mall. Okay. But I will tell you this. If I owned a sunglasses business where I'm selling sunglasses to people, you better believe I'm going to get my kiosk and I'm going to plop it smack dab in the middle of that mall. Even though I don't like the mall, I'm going to go to the mall because you know what? That's where the people are. And when you're running a business, you got to go where the people are. And unfortunately, Facebook and Google pretty much own all the internet traffic. Okay. So you have a choice. You can either go and do something else and go somewhere else and try to make it work. And I'm, 100% for you doing that. But, you have to also kind of look at it and go, where are the people hanging out? Where is my target market hanging out? And for me, my target market is on Facebook. While I'm not a particular fan of Facebook, I'm not a huge fan of social media in general, if I'm being honest with you. But the reality of it is, it's a massive thing that helps me build my business. And for that, I'm grateful. And I've met some amazing people on social media too. So you have the option of looking at it in two different lights. Boy, Facebook sucks. It's horrible. They're corrupt. They're censoring people, blah, blah, blah. Or guess what? I have met some amazing people on Facebook. I have met some people that, you know what? I have never met face to face, but if I called them up on the phone or I wrote them on Messenger and said, hey, I'm coming into town. Can I crash on your couch? I guarantee people would say, absolutely, come on over. So while there may be a lot of things I don't like about Facebook, I can tell you there are a lot of things I do like about Facebook. Okay, so you have to decide which perspective are you going to view it from. Okay, and I believe that this is a topic right now that's holding a lot of people back from using Facebook is because of the political BS that happens on Facebook. Okay, I choose to ignore it. I choose to just not talk about it because I'm not here to create division. Okay. I love people. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care what your belief is. I love people in general. Okay. And I have some dear family members of mine that are of complete different political persuasion than I am. And I would give my life for them. I would. So you have to decide which way you're going to look at it. Point number 3 is that Facebook is where the people are. So that was a big, explanation, but I really want you to see it from both sides and really, choose to decide where you want to go and how you want to do it. And no matter what you decide, I love you and I appreciate you. Okay. So let's dive into number 4. And number 4 is one of the things that I love about Facebook is the targeting capabilities. And there is some great targeting that you can do on Facebook to really reach out for your in your business. And I do believe that targeting has really gotten really, really good. And I'm going to talk about another point here in just a moment. But targeting is one of the great things about Facebook ads is that, if I am interested in putting my ad in front of the people that love the movie Rocky, I can pinpoint those people. Okay. And that's the beauty about it. Now, one of the things that I think regarding targeting that is probably the most underutilized, and I don't use it enough because I tend to build more globally or more in a mass scale. But one of the biggest areas that Facebook is not utilized enough is on the local level. So whether you know it or not, you can actually create ads on Facebook targeting zip codes. Okay. So if you really wanted to, target a specific zip code, like maybe you're a local business or you have a local business, like a couple clients of mine, I have they run I have a client that does a roofing business. I have a client that's doing a driving school, and that's localized. The driving school is localized. And one of the things I plan on doing with them when we get to that point of running ads is helping them choose specific zip codes that they can target for their school. So this is very underutilized. Like I can tell you right now, here in my city where I live in Tip City, Ohio, I live here and I see 0 ads pertaining to Tip City. Okay, I don't see any. So I can pretty much guarantee you that if I wanted to run some ads that targeting people in my particular zip code, I would probably crush it. You want to know why? Because nobody else is running any ads. Okay, I don't see ads for Tip City. And that is where you're going to get probably some of your lowest cost ads are on the local level. So think about that. Next time you try to run an ad, if you want to build your business locally, even if you're in network marketing or some type of local business and you want to build locally, man, right there, that's a great way to do it. Target zip codes around where you are, and that can have a huge, huge impact. Okay. So targeting is big. There's a lot of options. You can target a city, a zip code. You can target a city with a parameter around it. So you could, have like a certain radius that you want to target around a specific city. So that really makes a huge difference. And you can certainly do that. Now my camera's a little bit out of focus there. Let's see if we can get it to focus back in. I hate it when it does that. Why does it do that? It kind of auto focuses on its own, and sometimes it gets a little hung up. So maybe my camera's going a little bad or something like that. But point is, you definitely want to, stay focused on targeting. There's a lot of options there for you. This is one of the great reasons I love Facebook ads. Okay, if you're opening up a new portion of your business and it's in a whole nother country and you want to target that country, you can. Specific areas and countries. So definitely a huge benefit. You want to make sure that you take advantage of that, okay? So the other thing that I love about Facebook and Facebook ads is the ability to do what we call attraction marketing, okay? And I believe attraction marketing is the only way that you really want to build on social media. And I say that because attraction marketing is let me try and break it down for you how attraction marketing works. Some people understand the concept, some don't, but it's essentially you're showcasing the value that you have to provide before people buy. So for instance, when I go online and I search for something and I'm looking for an answer to a question that I have, and somebody demonstrates how to do that on a YouTube video, or maybe something on Facebook, somebody shares something that I think is a really cool tip, I go, wow, wow, that's super cool. Thanks for sharing that, Tom. Thanks for sharing that, Susie, whatever. And immediately in my mind, I think, wow, Susie really shared an awesome tip. That's really cool. So right away, that creates in my mind this idea that, hey, if Susie can share a really cool tip like that, then guess what? Susie's probably got a bunch of other cool tips that she can share also. So I'm going to be more apt to want to listen to Susie because that one time she shared something really cool with me. Number one, it made sense and it worked. Okay. This is essentially what attraction marketing is. It's the ability to showcase yourself, answer questions, show yourself as, I guess, an expert or somebody that shares good value that people can get from you. Okay. So, and social media allows you to do that. You know, like right now I'm sharing with you, hopefully you're getting value from this. And if you are getting value from it, I ask you to share it, click that share button and let me know you shared it, and tag somebody in the comments, you know, if you're getting value from it, but only if you're getting value. That's all. I don't want you to do it. You don't want you to feel forced or guilted into doing it. Do it if you're getting value, you know, and that's really what it comes down to. So attraction marketing is really all about that. And social media gives you that opportunity. So if we're going back to, you know, the love-hate relationship with social media, I hate it, but then I love it because it allows me to get in front of my audience, my target audience, and share value. And that's what I love about it. So, you know, you really have to look at it in those ways, but attraction marketing, I'll never build my business any other way. And I don't think you should either, especially on social media, because any other way is really not going to work well. Okay. You might get some results with some other things, but not if you're really out there showcasing the value. Okay. So I'm going to share my sixth and final point. So let's just review till I get to the sixth one. We have, it's inexpensive to start Facebook ads. You can get started for as little as $1 a day or $5 a day. You can quickly scale Facebook ads. You want to use Facebook ads because Facebook is where the people are. It's where, you know, 2.8 billion people have Facebook profiles. Now, if you know, and another point on that, maybe you're not aware of this, but there's only about 7.5 billion people in the world. Okay. So there's 2.8 on Facebook, 7.5 in the world, somewhere around that number. Put that, you know, we're talking a third of the world is on Facebook. Okay. You know, maybe a little more. So you really want to think about that. And that's why we go where the people are. And then the targeting capabilities of Facebook, and then being able to use it for attraction marketing. And my sixth and final point is the retargeting capabilities of Facebook ads. So here's where, when I talked to you a little bit earlier about getting views on your videos. So if you're putting videos out on Facebook, one of the cool things that you can do with those videos is you can do what's called retargeting. So Facebook gives you the ability to then go back into the ad manager and you can create what's called a custom audience. Now, a custom audience is basically any group of people or people that have viewed something or visited a website or things like this. But here's where you can specifically do it with videos. You can go in and you can create an audience of people to put an ad in front of them of people that specifically watched your videos. Could be one video or 10 videos or 100 videos. You can group all those people into one audience and say, I want to run an ad only to those people. That's the cool thing about it. So if you're creating content like videos on a regular basis, you can then group all of those together and continue to run ads to those people and keep yourself in front of them. So if somebody gets value from your video, then the cool thing is that you can now put an ad back in front of them based on a video that they watched on Facebook. So the retargeting capabilities alone of Facebook are super powerful. And look, you can do the same thing on YouTube or Google, retargeting capabilities. But in this specific instance, we're talking about Facebook. And so there's a lot of capability there that allow you to do that. Some retargeting capabilities kind of went away with a big update that just happened recently, a couple months ago, which was the iOS update that Apple put out. And it, lost some retargeting capability. But this is why if you're creating content and videos on Facebook, you can still retarget people from internally. Okay, so people that watch videos within Facebook, you can then target those individuals because that's all internal. And so some really good stuff there. So these are the 6 main reasons that I believe you should be running or, using Facebook ads in your business. Now, I want to go ahead and open it up for questions here. If you have questions, go ahead and type them. And I'm going to hang out with you here for a couple minutes and I'll answer any questions you have about Facebook ads. I've been running ads for a long time. I teach my clients how to run ads. I teach my students how to run ads. It's one of the most powerful ways to do it. You can pretty much target almost any industry, and you can use the ads to do it. So let's see here. So did you guys get value from that? Number one, if you did, do me a favor and comment and let me know. I only know if you let me know. So, you got to comment so I can know and get your feedback. That's the important thing. All right. So let's see. Okay. So I love here. I want to point this out. Chad says, yes, this was for me a long time and it cost me business. I would be much better further if I didn't allow feelings to get in the way. And I'm assuming, Chad, you're talking about what I was discussing regarding Facebook. Okay. And, going where the people are. And that's important. And it's, I get people's passion and I totally respect people's right to believe and think how they choose, but I'll tell you, the biggest thing that we just want to understand is that there's a lot of things that go on in the world we don't agree with. There's a lot of things that go on that I don't agree with. But when I have to stop and ask myself, what is the benefit? How can I use it for good? Even though some people use things for bad, how can I turn it around and use it for good? And it's like money. A lot of people use money for bad things. I mean, I think we can all agree on that, right? But there's a lot of good that's done with money also. So, because there's a lot of bad doesn't mean I ever want to stop making money or using money, and so we just have to look at it in that perspective. So I appreciate you sharing that, Chad. It's super cool. So let's see here. Yes, John is sharing all 6 right there. Inexpensive to start, easy to scale, where the people are, target market, attraction marketing, and retargeting. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, Leslie's got a question here. So I'm at the very beginning stages of using Facebook ads. Other than the cost itself and learning about ads, can you explain the difference of running ads for $1 a day versus $20 a day? So it's all a matter of, Facebook, the way Facebook does it is when you put a budget up there, they're going to use that budget to expose your ad to people. And Facebook charges based on impressions. But Facebook has an internal algorithm, okay? And that internal algorithm helps them to optimize and put your ad in front of people that they believe will take action on it or that will benefit most from what you're offering, okay? So Facebook has, a ton of data on every one of us, okay? Every time you click something, every time you like something, every time you scroll the newsfeed and stop to look at something, they have data on you about that. Oh, well, they stopped at this post, stop scrolling to read this post, and then they can see what it is. So Facebook has a ton of data. Now, whether you like that or not, again, it goes into that whole thing about, whether you're going to take advantage of it or not. I'm not a big fan of the fact that Facebook gets all that information on me. However, it is what it is. So that's basically how it works. Is the difference is if you're spending more, you have the ability to get your ad out there more in front of more people faster. Okay. If you're spending $1 a day, they're only going to put it in front of a few people, but still, again, if you're just starting, you want to get the feel for it. But in maybe, let's say for $1 a day, you only get that ad in front of 50 people. Okay. But if you put up $20 a day, you're going to get that ad put up in front of potentially maybe 1,000 people a day. Okay. So that's really what the main difference is there. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So this is a great question by John. He says, how can I dial in and find out who to put my ads in front of, which is basically my avatar? So great question. Okay. So one of the biggest things that I teach and I help with my clients and students is when you're running a Facebook ad, very rarely do I ever put up a Facebook ad and it's successful right away. Okay. And I've done Facebook ads enough to kind of know when something's not going to be successful or not. And it basically is just kind of get that gut feeling with how the initial response is. So I'll put up an ad, let it run for a couple days. And if I'm not getting a decent response, then what I will do is I will turn the ad off and I will try some different targeting. Okay. In other words, trying some different, like for instance, I had one of my clients who's in the health and wellness industry. We put up some ads for him. He put up his ads and he wasn't really getting a great response on the ads based upon who we were targeting. So we went back to the drawing board, found some new interests to target, some new targeting options, and we went after those and we tried it with those. So what we found is boom, we nailed it. Leads start banging in, like it just starts coming in like crazy. So the best thing that you can do is test. Okay, you have to try different audiences to see what kind of a result you get. And so you have to be willing to test and try. And it's kind of the old 80-20 rule. You might find 80% of your advertising fails, but we're looking for that 20% where things just hit awesome. And but I've been doing this so long and I know my audience very, very well. And I've spent a lot of money on Facebook ads that I know the types of messages to put in front of certain types of audiences and interests and targeting options out there just because I've done it a lot. So my learning curve has gone down, way, way down, just because I've ran so many ads over the years. Okay. So awesome. All right. So I'm assuming this is probably from a group, so apologize. I can't see your name, but it says, I have noticed that a good ad typically is strong right out of the gate. And then no matter how good it is, its strength starts to dwindle. Is this typical or there a strategy to lengthen its effectiveness? Fantastic question. Okay. And I love this because this happens all the time. And so here's what it is. Okay, there's a couple things. So when you put up an ad campaign, okay, you will find, like, let's say you have an ad that you put up, and what happens is that ad may take off and do really, really well. But what happens is over time, it will start to come down, okay? And it could be weeks, could be months. I've seen people run ads for months and they just do really well, but eventually they start to come down a little bit, okay? And this is what we call banner blindness. Okay, and this is what I have found. So an ad that you put up tends to be over time, when people see the same ad over time, you may not be getting the type of what do you call it? The type of interaction or results that you once had. So then what happens is you want to start doing more of what we call creatives. Okay, and creatives are creating different styles of ads. So you don't want to just put up one ad, okay? So we have like an ad group, okay? You have an ad group where you can put a couple of ads in there. Most people will put up one ad, The best thing to do would be to put 3 to 5 ads in an ad set, or an ad set is what we call it, and let Facebook determine which ad will work. So if you put up a series of ads and they're all different ads, maybe you have a video ad, an image ad, a story ad, and you put these within an ad set, what will happen is Facebook can go and cycle through and use those different styles of ads, and you're still targeting the same audience. So the reason that it starts to go down is because maybe the ad is beginning to get a little tired. So this is why you should create multiple ads in order to combat that a little bit. So let's say your ad is losing its effectiveness. You could go in and pause that ad and let Facebook choose one of the other 4 to put out there. Okay. And then, find out which one's working best. And Facebook is really good at that. Their algorithm is really good at figuring that out. So I hope that helps you a little bit, but that's essentially how it works. Okay. Okay. So another great question by Facebook user. Sorry, I can't get your name. You're probably in one of my groups. But how much time do you give to test an ad before making an adjustment? I usually, when I run an ad, I'll come out of the gate spending about $50 a day to let it, do its thing. Now, this is just me. And I'll let it run for probably 3 to 4 days, just to kind of see like what's going on with it. And then I will probably have I'll see within that period whether I'm getting decent results or not. And I can usually make a decision, a gut, feeling, just because I've done it so much, whether or not it's working. Okay. But here's the truth. I know my audience and my targeting really well. So I don't typically have that issue much anymore. Very rarely, because I've run so many ads to so many of the same audiences, and I know what gets the best response. But in this case, you really want to check it after, give it a couple days. Okay. So you have to be willing to get in there and be willing to give it some time in order for it to do its thing. Okay. No, but keep your eye open. We are going to be doing a Facebook workshop here soon. So if you're not on my email list, get over to markharbor.com, join my email list. I will be letting you know there for sure. And, but we will be doing a Facebook ad workshop where I'll be sharing a lot more on this. So that is coming. All right. Yeah, Melissa, there you go. It's like split testing. I'm assuming you're talking about the Facebook ads in an ad set. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely, Facebook user. I love the idea of doing variant versions of the same ad. Oh, what's up, Eddie? Eddie Villa. Yes. So the 2 Facebook user. Okay, cool. So that was Eddie Villa. If you don't know Eddie, boy, you need to find him and friend him. It's one of the greatest dudes out there. Good-hearted guy. But yes, that's really what you want to do. You really want to take the same ad and create different variants of it. Try different things. If you have a video ad, you can use kind of the same format, but maybe try it in a little bit of a different way. If you want to use kind of the same script, so to speak, you could just do it in a different way. But just get creative with it. That's why they're called creatives. To really, that's what it comes down to. So if you ever watch some TV or something and you see some ads, I think the Progressive insurance company, okay, if you see some of their ads and the funny ads that they put out, if you notice, they have new ads like every couple weeks. I mean, you might see it a couple times, but they have a ton of different ads. And they're just stupid, you know what I mean? Like you watch them and they're stupid, but you want to watch them because they're dumb, And but if you notice, they have all different kinds of ads, and they rotate them very quickly, So there's a reason for that, and if you notice that, that's kind of the same mentality you want to have on Facebook. So creating one ad and just putting it up and going, I didn't get good results, isn't always going to be, the best, I guess the best, I don't know how you call it. You're not necessarily going to get the best result. You can, if you know your audience real well and you've done a ton of testing, but the best to do, especially when you're starting, is create a couple different ads and see which ones work best. All right, guys. So we ain't got no more. We don't have any more questions. So I hope you guys got value. Did you get value tonight? Are you convinced that you should go out there and do some Facebook ads? If you are, do me a favor, just comment and let me know. Tell me, yes, you're going to start some Facebook ads. The only way you're going to break the minutia of not doing Facebook ads is to get in there and do it. That's really what it takes. And that's, it's one of those things that I think once you get into it and you start to understand it, it's not that difficult. All right. So guys, that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you appreciated this. I hope you got some real good value from it. The goal of these lives that we do every Wednesday is to provide you with up-to-date information, things that are working, and you'll get a ton of value. So, oh, look at this. I always got to share that. Look at that. Eddie's saying that. Mark has courses for everything. I bought many of them. Totally worth it. Hey, that's what I try, man. I love this stuff. I geek out on marketing, and I love it, and I love to teach it. So keep your eyes open. We will be doing a Facebook workshop here in the coming weeks, and you want to make sure you're part of that if you have a desire to do Facebook ads, all right? Appreciate you guys. Have a great night, and go out there, crush it, and let's see you driving your business and do an ad soon. All right? Bye, guys.